thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, you've been up to a lot. I thought I was a workaholic and I thought I worked a lot, but I think, I have a little bit of competition.
maybe got a little bit of competition out here.
So tell me, Jennifer, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm currently dancing with Pitbull, so I've been traveling the world with him. I'm a member of the Most Bad Ones, so he has 6 dancers that travel the world with him. So that's like my main job. But I also opened up a business called Limitless Legends, and it's a motivational brand. So I've been selling merch. This is the logo.
Looks dope.
We got to put a link. Make sure to put a link in the description.
For sure.
For sure. But yeah, I've been selling merch, and I've just been trying to create this movement. I've been going to schools, speaking to kids, you know, inspiring them. And the main message is literally living limitless. So
and I know you're working with Pitbull now, but let's go back a little bit. I know you've been pretty much traveling the world, and this is not your first time doing this. No. You've been doing this for a long time now. Even though you're so young, we're so young.
Yes,
people think
grinding, we're getting it. We're out there getting it.
It's like young hustlers, and you pretty much worked in every single, some of the biggest tours, worldwide tours. I know you did a little bit with Daddy Yankee, with Prince Royce. Tell me a little bit about that. How was your experience? How was the whole thing?
So at 18, I tried out for the Miami Heat, and I made it, and I was a Heat dancer for 2 years. And they really gave me the opportunity to get out there and expose myself. I was always a dancer, but I never really danced in front of a camera. I didn't know what it was like to be sexy in a photo shoot.
I've seen all the music videos, by the way.
But I honestly give the most thanks to the Heat for that, because they kind of took me out of my shell and molded me to that. You go into dance class and you're sweating and you're grinding, but you're not thinking about working in front of a camera, how to interview, how to speak to people, So the Heat kind of laid that foundation for me. And then I turned 19, and it was the summer going into what would have been my 3rd year, and I get a call from Casper Smart, and he wants me to do a music video for Prince Royce and J-Lo and Pitbull called Back It Up, which is ironic because now I dance for Pitt, so it all comes full circle at the end of the day. But he gives me a call, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Casper. Like, what? What's happening?
He found you through the Miami Heat?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth?
Word of mouth, and the dance industry is very small, so he was coming down to Miami. He needed a few Miami girls to be in this video.
Right.
And ironically, one of the Pitbull dancers, who's one of my teammate now, she gave him the recommendation of myself. And
that's what happens when you're good. People just tell everybody about you. I remember I don't know if you remember this, but it was 2015. I was in LA working on the Latin American Music Awards. And I remember I saw you there. And everybody in the production office was like, oh, my gosh, she's so nice. She's a sweetheart, whatever. How you guys know each other? And then I told them the whole story about how we went to high school together and all the whole thing. So, yeah, when you're good, people just...
that's so awesome.
People just talk about you,
I love that. Just good energy, honestly.
That's what it has to be. That's what it has to be. And let's talk about... I want to start, from the beginning of your life.
Okay.
Where were you born? How was it growing up?
Okay, so I'm born and raised in Miami. I'm a Miami girl, 305 all day. My parents are Cuban. My mom was actually born here, but my grandparents, everybody Cuban. And my dad was actually born in Cuba. He came over when he was 1. So I grew up in a Cuban household, and it was very interesting because growing up in Miami, I thought everybody was Cuban. To me, if you were Hispanic, you were Cuban.
Right.
You live in Miami. I didn't know the difference between being Puerto Rican, being Dominican.
Right.
I didn't know the difference between any of that stuff.
So, Starbucks or Cuban coffee?
Cuban coffee, 100%.
All right. Here we go. Let's do this.
Yes!
So I got this.
I'm getting spoiled today.
Yeah, it's 2 coladas.
Michelle didn't get this treatment. That's not fair.
I think Michelle
He's learning as it goes. Everybody else after him is going to get more
I think
spoiled,
Michelle's Starbucks. Michelle's also.
No, yeah, she's Starbucks. She likes cold coffee.
Yeah,
she's weird. Only weird people drink cold coffee.
I don't know, for anybody that's not from Miami, this is what we do here. We don't do shots. Well, sometimes. So, do you know, hold on, el piquito, the thing that you have to do to the
yeah,
cup?
to bend it.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
By the way, this is 2 coladas, so I don't know if you drink a lot of coffee, but we all do here.
Yes, thank you. This is where it's at. This is what gives you the most energy. If you've never had this before and you have it for the first time, beware.
Every time I hear somebody that's not Hispanic, and they come to Miami and they try this coffee, they always freak out because they're not used to it.
They're not. And then they get this overdose of energy. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I had a rehearsal. We used to have this before rehearsal sometimes because we would have tour rehearsals 8 hours. So not before, during lunch. Listen, one rehearsal. I had 2.5 of these. I don't know who I thought I was. Listen, my heart starts racing and I'm jittering. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm having a panic attack. What's going on with me? I start having the jitters. I'm like, I had to step outside for a second because if you're not used to this,
right,
it'll get the best of you.
So the first time I had a full colada, it was in college. I was getting out of a music video shoot. I was an intern at the time. And I remember that we finished like around 4 or 5 in the morning. I went to the cafeteria in North Campus in Miami-Dade. And I bought a colada, and that was the first time I ever drank a colada. And I thought it was just coffee, so I drank all of it. Oh, man, I was going to die. I was in class like, okay, I'm awake, but I'm dying. Like, what's going on?
Teacher, you're not speaking fast enough.
Amazing.
Wow, it does something to the soul.
Yes. All right, now I'm super hyper already. All right, so tell me a little bit about the whole thing. Again, you were born here.
So I grew up in a Cuban household. My first language, ironically, was Spanish. But when I learned my English, I forgot my Spanish. You were saying earlier before we entered the podcast that you took ESOL classes when you got here.
Yeah.
So my mom was scared that they were going to put me in ESOL classes.
Right.
So they started teaching me English. Well, they taught me English so much I forgot my Spanish. So now I speak Spanglish. A little bit here, a little bit there, you know? So it's very interesting. It's an interesting concept. But I feel like a lot of our generation growing up now has that Spanglish. Yeah. It's like, we're in the middle. Are we Cuban? Are we American? What are we? 2 Hispanics? American, but
I have a friend that he doesn't speak Spanish, and from time to time I'm like, oh, pero, you know, and I'm speaking in English. It just happens.
It just happens, especially living in Miami. It's part of the culture, which is what makes it.
And when I hang up with him on the phone, I'm like, all right, dale, and he's like, dale. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, wait, I have a funny story. I was talking to one of my friends, and he was living in Spain at the time. He was playing basketball in Spain, and he sends me a message. He doesn't speak any Spanish. And he puts vale. I put, you spelled it wrong. It's dale. He goes, no, vale. And I'm like, vale? What's vale? I had no idea. And it's Spain vale. I was like, wow. Yeah. But going back to cultural differences, thinking everybody's Cuban, I was like, okay, huh?
When I moved here, I thought everybody was Cuban too.
You see?
It's Miami.
It's like you live in this little bubble.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the heat was when I was like, oh, she's Puerto Rican. Oh, she's Dominican. Then I started traveling the world and I was like, oh, wait, where?
There's
we're Hispanic,
more.
But we're very different.
There's more.
We're very different, you know?
I remember when I heard Creole the first time, I was like, I've never been in a situation where I didn't understand what somebody was saying because everything was always English and Spanish.
Right.
Exactly.
And in Miami, you have a lot of people from different cultures. Like you have a lot of Brazilians.
We're a melting pot.
A lot of Russians apparently here in Miami as well. And, you know, once I think I started going to college, that's when I started seeing people from all these different places. And I'm like, oh, you're not from here? They're like, yeah, I was born here, but I'm Russian, you know?
Yeah.
So you get all of that. That's what I think the beauty about Miami. And don't you hate it when you hear people, especially younger people, that are like, hey, I can't wait to move out of Miami because I grew up here. It's like,
I know, but I honestly think it literally comes with timing and age and experience because you get to a point, listen, I was like, okay, cool, Miami. When I traveled the world, I was like, I'm from Miami! Like, you know, there comes a sense of pride in it, but you have to leave to be able to get that pride because you think this culture, Miami's everywhere, and let me tell you, it ain't.
Nope.
It ain't at all. But it comes with time. Once they leave Miami to be able to see what it's not like to have Miami, then they'll be like, I want to go back home. I can't wait.
Imagine being in the snow.
Oh, man.
I know. It's a frío.
Chicago or something.
It's pretty for like 2 or 3 days when it's like you're on vacation. You just go, a little bit of snow, throw a little snowball, but then come back home and that's it. You know, like
not being stuck in that.
Sorry for everybody out there. All right, so tell me, when was the first time you discovered your passion for dance?
My first time I think my mom discovered my passion for me, to be honest. My mom was like my superhero, my right-hand man, like everywhere I was, she was there. And she would play music for me when I was younger and I would sing, I'd grab the microphone. I thought it was Brandy and I would just sing in the microphone. And then she would play these MTV music videos. I was 7 years old. She has a video of me, and I'm in front of the TV screen, and I'm like trying to copy the girls in the videos. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm literally mimicking the girls in the videos.
Right.
And it brought so much happiness to me. When I look at these videos, I'm like, wow, I was really happy. I'm in my little diaper, my little underwear, just bagging it up, you know? Yeah, I was 7. I wasn't in my diaper. I was in my underwear. But yeah, you know, just that was when she was like, okay, my daughter kind of has a talent for this, you know? And she put me in a dance company called Untouchables. I was already in middle school. And from there, Pop Stars was first. And from there, I fell in love with it. Like, the performing aspect of it. You know, I wasn't necessarily the type that I want to train. I didn't go to a dance studio. I'm a product of Miami-Dade County public school system. You know, I was part of the magnet programs, and that's kind of what made me the dancer that I am. But honestly, like the few companies that I dance for outside, I just love performing in front of people.
Right.
And it was never about, I never went to a studio, so it wasn't about competing. Like, we're this dance team and we're going to compete versus other dance teams. Right. It was, no, we're going to let this music fill our soul. They're going to give us the choreography, and we're going to adapt to it how we want to adapt to it. And then we're going to perform in front of an audience. And they're going to feed off of our energy.
There was a lot of freedom, right?
Yeah, it was free. And that's what I loved about dance. It was like an escape. So, like, if I was mad and I was angry or I was heartbroken, like, I'm going to play some music and I'm gonna give you that. But if I was happy and jolly, I'm gonna give you some happy and jolly stuff. You know, it was just a way to express yourself. And that's what I fell in love with. And being able to put joy on other people's faces doing what I love. That was what was amazing. You know, like, you're performing in a crowd, they just dunked. Okay, now we're gonna do a run around, and we're like, yeah! And all of us are just so hype. It's just a feeling that you can't explain. Like,
do you think okay? So we were having this discussion the other day about people that are born with talent. It's a little tricky subject because a lot of people are, you know, even parents are forcing people into doing things that they don't want to do. But, you know, it's like, hey, become a doctor just because I say so. And you hate medicine, but you still do it, and then you live a horrible life. So do you think people are born with talent, or is that something you can get as you go?
Listen.
Difficult question.
Two things. It's a difficult question. But my answer to you would definitely be, I think people are born with special gifts. So, like LeBron James, look at the body that guy has. Look at the talent he has. I can go and I could be at the gym every day, but am I going to be like LeBron James?
Right.
Realistically. You know, some people are just given those physical abilities that allow you to get to the next level. But I do feel that if your heart and your soul, not that, oh, I want to be an artist, I want to draw, and I just decide to draw. No, I have to feel it. If you really feel it within you that you can be that, I feel like you'll make it happen. And a lot of the times parents now push for that. They push for the safety net. And I get it. Parents do that because they want their kids to have stability, especially if they didn't have stability.
Right.
But at the same time, if the kid is telling you, look, I want to be a musician. I might not make it, but I want that. I'm going to dedicate my life to being a musician because that's what I want.
Give him a chance.
How you were saying, you know, you went to work for Telemundo. Amazing. Anybody would love to work for Telemundo. But that wasn't you. Like, you wanted to do your own thing.
Right.
So I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to invest in myself. That's the best advice you could give to anybody. Invest in yourself and in your dreams and in your passion and what you want to do, regardless of what anybody tells you.
Right, because I know there's a lot of people, probably some doctors with really good talents, and they never had a chance to, like, you know, go full on with it. And that happens a lot, man. What do you think about the school system? It's a, you know, like, chill now, like, school system. I have a lot of problems with the school system just because I don't think they're built to build leaders. They're built to, like,
they're built to
create
build
employees.
followers.
Yeah. What do you think about that? How can we make it better?
Okay, so honestly, it's a very interesting subject because I was a straight A student. I was like, I need to have my 4.0. If I got a B, I would cringe. Like, I was all about the school system growing up, you know? That was what my job was. Go to school, get good grades, graduate, and you succeed in life. Well, nowadays, there's so many people with a college degree, and they're struggling to get a job. And there's people that worked in a company since they were 18. Now they're 40. They're getting all the benefits, raise pay, everything, you know, and they're banking from it. So I do believe in the education system. I do think it's important. I would never tell somebody I don't think you need to go to college. However, I do feel like the school system sets you up, like you said, to be an employee, to work for somebody else. They would never teach you how to be a business person. They'll never teach you how to be a leader because, think about it, somebody has to work for somebody. Yeah. Not everybody can be a leader.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem. So when I went to school, college, I was like, yeah, college. All of a sudden, I'm taking calculus. And I'm like, calculus? Oh, my God. I have never used calculus a day in my life. But you know what it taught me, though? It taught me that if I want something bad enough, I'm going to make it happen. So all these numbers, the limit does not exist. All this stuff, what does this stuff mean? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out and I can make it happen. So it taught me college taught me how to arrive on time, taught me how to network, taught me how to speak in front of people, taught me how to, so it teaches you fundamentals versus the actual textbook stuff. And I'm a big believer that you need to go to the University of Life and just live life, you know?
Okay. Do you think that the fundamentals could be taught before college?
For sure. 1,000%. I definitely do think that, but honestly, the school system too was like a daycare. your parents got to work.
That term sounds familiar.
We talked about that the other day. We were saying how the school system is pretty much just a place for you to, stay there until your parents get out of work.
It is.
And that's why they give you a lot of useless stuff. But here's the thing. I'm okay with having a daycare, but teach me something that is going to help me. For example, some kids nowadays, they don't even know how to talk to people. They're looking down all the time. And I know it's easier for a parent in a supermarket to just like, here's the phone, watch some cartoons and leave me alone. Instead of saying like, hey, say hi to the lady in the, the cashier or something. It's a different...
And unfortunately, that's what it's come to. Everything is on the cell phone. And I think I've realized, because I have 4 nieces and nephews, and I realized as a parent, you're supposed to teach your kids all of these things. But not everybody has parents, so where do they learn it from?
Yeah.
Like, there's some girls, I know this is getting, like, really personal now, but there's some girls that get their period for the first time and they don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
How sad is that? Like, your school should teach you about your body. They should teach you about sex ed. They should teach you driver's ed. Things. How do I open up a bank account? How do I save up my money?
How do you pay taxes?
How do you pay taxes?
If everybody has to file taxes, how come we don't learn that in school?
You don't.
It makes no sense. It's like same thing about real estate. It's like if we know that real estate is like the safest form of investment in the country because of the history, why don't we learn about that?
Because they don't want to. You can't set up everybody for success, unfortunately.
Yeah, and on top of that too, it's I always thought the school failed me because they didn't make me a leader. But you got to think how many kids are in the class, and imagine if you told them, "Hey, you can be the leader."
Right.
Well, guess what? Teacher's not the leader anymore.
But here's the thing. It's not even about being the leader because here they give you a trophy for anything. It's like
you're right.
Oh, dude, totally.
8th place trophy. It's like
You saw my kickball trophy?
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure you didn't do anything.
I got an MVP. I posted it on Facebook. I got an MVP under my name, and we won like 1 game.
Wow.
It's like participation. It's like in life you don't get it. You don't get anything for participating.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's the generation we live in right now. Everybody wants to feel applauded. Everybody wants to feel accepted and validated. And the reality situation is, it's just not. That's not what life is. To be honest with you.
And I know you go a lot to schools and you speak to these kids, and it's about empowering them. Like I do the same thing. We empower them, but we also have to be realistic. It's like, yes, you can tell them, yeah, you're the best, but if you keep telling them that, then they're not gonna work hard.
But that's the message I give across. I just want to spark the light within them. That's the main thing, and my thing is all about living limitless, which is exposing yourself to opportunities, seeing what you like and running on that.
Right.
But I try to give the belief in them. That's the thing. You have to start with believing in yourself and getting them to see that they have the potential. I do feel like the majority of human beings all have the potential within them to be whatever it is they want in their lifetime. Whether they want to act upon it or not, that's up to them.
Right. It's a mindset. But
exactly. So if you come to me with a dance thing, there's a lot of girls that message me on Instagram, and I try to get back to them as soon as I can, and I do, whether it takes a week or a day, I get back to them and I tell them, hey, look, work on this, I'm going to be realistic with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's all about improvement. People are so worried about, I got to be the best, best. There's people that are the best of the best and they don't make it. They don't have the attitude for it. There's so much. It's about having the full package, but honestly, just getting the kids to believe in themselves, because the majority of them have never had somebody pat them on the shoulder and say, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up. Right. And when you say that, it does something to them. It's like somebody cares for me. Somebody's listening to me. Somebody believes in me. Okay, now I can believe in myself.
Right.
Kids are the most innocent people you'll ever meet. And when we grow up, we lose that innocence. And that's what it is. Trying to keep that innocence and showing them that they can do it. They just got to work hard and put their mind to it.
Right.
It's not going to fall on their lap.
And you need parents to support them too. It's like, hey, like go harder. Like try again. Keep going. Like don't. Because the thing about life is that you're going to fall. And multiple times. You're going to fall, you're going to fail, you're going to mess up. But instead of just going back and say, you know what, I'm not going to try again because I'm going to fail again, you get back up and you go again.
Right. But there's a quote that says, failure is the mother of all success.
Yeah, that's it.
And we're taught that failure is bad. We're taught mistakes are bad. Like, it's not. Like, they're beautiful. That's when you learn the most lessons. Like, I play sports. I'm very competitive. Yes, I love to win. But the biggest lessons are in the losses.
You see, I wouldn't play against you because I know I would lose. So I'm smart.
We can set something up. You want to get a little video going on.
For the video blog.
For a one-on-one, a little video blog going on.
Man, I don't
want to do that.
We can't play basketball with you. We'll never be able to play basketball in public again.
I wouldn't take that challenge at all. So how were you in high school? How was Jennifer in high school?
Wow. Jennifer was
freshman year.
A woman of many talents. Freshman year was honestly one of my best years of high school. I played basketball, volleyball, dance. My senior year, I was captain of all 3 sports. A part of student government. I graduated top 10 in my class with a 5.3 GPA. Like, I was really involved in school, and my main thing, like I said, was living limitless, exposing myself to all these things to see what it is I really wanted to do, which ended up being dance. But if I really wanted to, I could still go play ball. If I really want, I started playing flag football once I graduated, and I loved it. It's just something that fell on my lap. I never played before. They like called me up for a game. I went and I loved it. And then one day, nobody told me that you don't dive in turf, and my competitive self dives for the ball. And I scraped the whole side of my leg, and I had a dance show the following week. And I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot get on stage with my legs scraped, you know? So that started putting things into perspective for me.
Right.
But honestly, like, high school was just my time to try everything. I didn't do the modeling, I didn't do the acting. I stayed focused on, like, this is my zone, and I'm going to put all my time and effort into all these things. So I would literally be in I had a dance show and a basketball game the same day.
So what, you clone yourself?
I did both. Honestly, like, my coaches were great. You know, like, they gave me the opportunity to be able to do all these things, because not every school does that. And I went to my dance show, and then when I finished my dance show, my mom drove me all the way to my basketball game. I made it for the 4th quarter. We went into overtime. I played in overtime, and we won. So I always managed to do both, but definitely I learned a lot of time management in that. And my thing too was kind of just clearing out stereotypes.
Right.
You know, like
what?
Because you dance, you know, you're too girly girl for basketball. Because you play basketball, you're too girly girl for dance. Like, just all those different stereotypes, you know, like, I kind of got along with pretty much everybody in school, you know, and it was, because you're a nerd, you can't go out and party. Because you party, you can't be a nerd. And I'm like, well, I'm all of those things. So you want to come for me for something or what?
So, straight A student
you know?
that parties and plays every sport. And it's a girl.
Yeah. And it's a girl. Yes, women. We're the best.
I mean, I've never heard of a guy accomplishing that, so.
You're
the real MVP.
The real MVP. The GOAT, not Tom Brady.
I'll give you my kickball trophy.
My kickball trophy.
When was the time that you realized that dance could be an actual career? Because I know a lot of parents are probably like, really, dance? I don't think so. Go to school and get a real job. You know, when was that time?
It's interesting because I see a lot of parents now and their kids dancing. They're like, oh my God, let me video, put it on Instagram. Like, my child's 3 and they're dancing. Like, yay, you know? And then life goes on and they're like, no, you can't dance. Like, dance isn't going to get you far. Or you have parents that homeschool their kids to be able to do these dance competitions. And then after they graduate, they never use dance again. So I'm like, you're investing all this time for what? But I actually didn't really know this whole, like, dancing for premios and all this stuff really existed, to be honest with you. I did it because I loved it. And then my goal was just always, I want to be a Heat dancer. I didn't see life past that. Like, that was my goal. Like, I was in a group called the Miami Heat Junior Jam. So there was, like, little Heat dancers. I was in that when I was in the 7th grade. And so when I got the feeling of that, I'm like, my goal is to be a Heat dancer. I can't wait. Well, I make the Heat, and I'm like, okay. And then some girls are doing music videos, and some girls are dancing in award shows. And I was like, okay, you know? So I went to an audition for an award show for Premios Juventud.
Right.
2013, Premios Juventud. And I danced for 4 different artists, and one of them was Pitbull with J-Lo.
Right. And at that time, you were not working with Pitbull. It was just...
No, I wasn't. Listen, I told the girl, I don't really ask artists for pictures like that, you know? But I told the girl, I'm like, oh my God, do you think I could get a picture with him? My abuela would be so proud of me. That's literally what I was thinking. My abuela will be so proud of me if I can just get a picture with him. She's like, look, you know, pick somebody that's always in Miami. I'm sure the time will come, but, like, don't really ask for that right now. And I'm like, I was so sad because I'm like, I don't even know if I ever get the opportunity to dance for him again.
Sometimes you
Little
see
did I know
time.
he would grow up, like, I would grow up and he would be like my brother.
Yeah.
You know, it's honestly been a true blessing.
And you accomplished every goal pretty much because, you know, we all have that one goal. You wanted to be a Miami Heat dancer, and it happened.
Yeah.
How was your time when you were a Miami Heat dancer? How was that?
Amazing. Honestly, like, it surpassed all my expectations. If I said I didn't have expectations, I would be lying. I had expectations for myself. And when I got there, just everything I learned, I'm telling you, like, everything. When we would do promo work, when we would do, you know,
Hold on, before you keep going, what was, okay, because I know a lot of girls try out for this.
Yes.
A lot. And it's like a 1-day, 2-day thing?
You try it on a Sunday, and then if you make it to boot camp, you're there for a week. And then that Friday,
How many girls tried out for this thing, usually?
Oh, I don't know. Well, when LeBron was here with Wade and Bosch, it was a lot more, you know, the audition size has gone down a little bit. But I want to say 200, maybe 300.
So out of 200 girls, Jenny makes a team. How was that? When you got that call, when they told you, hey, you're in.
Listen, amazing. The first year I thought I got kicked out. Like, I thought I didn't make it. Halfway through boot camp, they put girls to one side and they put girls to another side. And like all the good girls were on one side and like I was like on the other side, I guess you would say. I don't know if I even worded that correctly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I thought I got cut. And I literally went to the corner and called my mom. I'm like, Mom, this isn't for me. Clearly, you can see my mom's a best friend. I'm like, Mom, this isn't for me. Oh my God, they just cut me. I'm so sad. Like, this is my whole dream. And they cut me. Literally, that's how I felt. Called my mom crying. And then they were like, okay, everybody come in. And I was like, oh, I didn't get cut. Okay, but that one moment of me getting cut, like, that's it. I self-destructed. The self-belief I had went through the door. I was done.
And was that your first time trying out?
That was my first time trying out.
First time you got it?
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
But don't let it fool you. I tried out for Junior Jam 3 times before I made it. So I've been grinding since I was a jit. It wasn't like, you know, people think, here, it just falls on your lap.
Right.
You're so blessed. You're so lucky. Everything you've gotten, you're just so lucky.
Do you believe in luck?
No.
So
I believe in hard work. That's what I believe in. Pitt always says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. There's some truth in that.
That is a really good phrase.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'm going to use that.
You can come up with your own things?
I can.
Don't worry.
Remember,
we're all going to help each other out. We're all going to help each other out.
Remember, I'm the MVP, okay?
Yes.
They told me when I was 10, I was the MVP, so.
That probably meant something. So.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me when I got that trophy?
So the first time, because I know you've traveled a lot,
yes.
Pretty much all over the world. The first time you traveled as a dancer, how was that experience?
The first time I traveled as a dancer.
Where was it? Do you even remember? Because I know you.
Oh my goodness.
Your passport is probably like full of stamps.
Yeah. I have 2 passports.
Goals.
I just got one and I'm happy.
Mess. So many passports. Okay. Wow. My first time I traveled as a dancer. That's a tough one. I want to say I was in the heat. Okay. And they called me to do the Latin Grammys and the AMAs. And I was stunned because I'm like, this little 18-year-old girl from Miami gonna go travel, like. And I went and I did the Latin Grammys with Carlos Vives, and I think I danced with somebody else, I don't remember. And then
in Las Vegas?
I think that's the year that you saw me then.
No, because that was
no,
that was Lamas. That was 2015. Oh no. And you were in the Miami Heat one,
2013, 14, and 2014, 15.
Yeah, I think 2015 you were dancing with Prince Royce.
Okay, no, so yeah, that was after. That was after I was in the Heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did I went and I did it in Vegas, and then we went to LA for the AMAs, and I danced with Pitt.
What about the outside of the U.S.?
Okay, my first concert ever. This is the best, one of the best experiences. I've gone to concerts my whole life, and I'm like, I cannot wait to be that girl on stage.
It's a whole different perspective.
Bro, whole different perspective. And I would always say that. I'm like, I remember sitting in a Chris Brown concert, and I was like, wow, like, I can't wait for like that girl to be me. Like I knew it. I knew it was gonna be me one day. It was just a matter of time. Mm-hmm. And they called me to go on tour with Yankee, and I did my first show in Chile.
Now, Chile, Yankee.
Listen,
That's
listen,
pretty big.
Listen, I get there. First of all, I'm dancing for Yankee. It's Yankee. Is that a Yankee? Like, come on. I was like. I've listened to you my whole life, and now I'm going to be on stage with you. Okay, I don't even know the life I'm living, but okay.
I think our grandkids are going to be dancing and listening to Daddy Yankee.
Seriously, he's a legend. Yeah. He doesn't.
He definitely deserves a kickball trophy. That's the last one. That's the last one. That's the last joke.
I love the kickball. Keep coming.
Ship it to him.
Keep coming.
That's the last one, by the way.
So good.
So how was that?
Listen, amazing. I get to Chile, and I'm like, wow.
How old were you?
19, 20? No, 19. I don't think I was 20. I think.
Man, that's crazy. 19?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
19, 20. I think it was 19 though. So I get to Chile, and I'm like, oh my God, okay. You know, this is my first time in South America. I'm like, ooh, it's a lot. Very different, you know? So I'm adjusting. But we get there. I get to the hotel. I'll never forget. And there's fans outside of the hotel. And this is my first experience with, like, non-NBA fans. You know what I mean? The NBA fans are different than, like, artist fans. and they're waiting outside of the hotel for us. And when I was like, Annie, and I'm like, how do you even know my name? Like, they do their research. These fans are die-hard fans. I need you guys to know that. They're die-hard fans. And they're waiting, and they're asking us and taking his pictures and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't know this life. You know what I mean? Like, this is a completely different life than dancing for an NBA team, you know? And no, I don't even know how they knew we were staying there. And whatever, we stayed there, and then we do our first show. And I'm so nervous, guys. I think the first dance we came out to was, I don't even remember the song. I don't know if it was Gasolina. Listen, and all of a sudden you just hear the crowd like screaming. I can't even do it now because I'm gonna hurt your guys' ears, you know? But screaming and that energy, and I literally almost cried. I'm like, it's happening. Like, I'm that girl. Like, I'm the girl on the stage. I made it here.
There's only what?
And it was such a surreal
30,
moment.
40,000 people. That's it. That's not a big deal.
And it was funny because I didn't, like, it wasn't even about the fans at that moment. Like, I wasn't nervous because of them. I was just like, wow, I made it.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought when I was this little girl dancing my ballet in South Miami Elementary that I would be on stage with Daddy Yankee in Chile?
Have you ever messed up on stage?
Oh, 1,000%. Still messed up to today.
What was the worst one?
Listen, I can tell you, I don't think with, let's say with Pitt, I've ever had like a perfect show where like I don't mess up anything. And I mean anything, like a head, an arm.
Right.
Like, we mess up all the time.
All right, disclaimer, because people really, they don't go to the shows to watch Pitbull. I'm sorry. They go to the shows to watch you guys. So you got like all eyes on you. And, you know, if you mess up, people are like, I couldn't tell, but
yeah. But that's what's so amazing about dancing for Pitt. Like, honestly, like, we all share the stage together.
And that energy.
You know, and it's energy, and it's just about a good time. He says it all the time.
Right.
Like, you know, if you mess up, it's okay. Like, they're not. The average viewer is not a dancer.
Have you ever like tripped?
Yes.
What was the worst one? Tell me a story about the worst time.
The worst time I messed up.
It doesn't have to be with Pitbull. It could be with
was
anybody.
With J Balvin.
J Balvin?
Oh, man.
On TV.
On TV? So it's recorded. We're going to look this up.
No, but I don't think it came out on TV.
Yeah, because
like, the way
camera
they edited
probably wasn't.
Yeah, listen, guys. I overbooked myself, and I was working with a lot of different artists, and they called me to do Un Nuevo Día,
the morning show.
Yeah.
Telemundo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 7 a.m. I had a show the night before. I learned off of a video, whatever. I get to this place, and I'm really concentrated. Like, I'm in my zone, like, rehearsing, trying to memorize all these steps, and I'm like, wow, like, it's coming in and out. Listen. They start recording. And I'm there, okay, I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm in my flow. I go up to J Balvin, and I go down. And I realize all the girls are still standing up. Like, I was like a whole 8 count ahead of everybody. And I'm like, what do I do now? And I didn't know the choreography well enough to just pick up where I left off.
Right.
And I'm in the front, so I can't see what's happening behind me. So I'm like, oh my God, Jennifer, what are you going to do? Listen, I start dancing with J Balvin, and I start freestyling, looking at him so I could look at the girls to see where to catch up onto. I was down. Everybody else was standing up. Like, I completely freestyled. I gave myself a solo.
Right.
And I went up to the choreographer after, and I was like, look, I apologize so much.
Right.
I just gave myself a solo on this television network, but I was lost.
I would have done that on purpose. Like, it's like, this is my time to shine.
I know,
you know?
but that's the thing. Like, an average viewer's not going to know I messed up. But to the dancers, I was like it's flawed. But it happens. Sometimes you just, you know. There's one time I was with Pitt, and I literally, like, I was on stage, and I blacked out. That had never happened to me before. This was probably like 2 years ago. We were performing with Enrique Iglesias on tour. And, you know, we have so many back-to-back shows that sometimes your mind is just like... Right. And I literally stood there, and all I saw was my teammate cross in front of me. I literally just stood there. I've never done that before. And I was so scared the rest of the show. Like, I'm like, what if that happens to me again? I was having, like, an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
And I just stood there, and I was like, shit, I'm on stage. Oh, okay, let me catch up. You know?
Right.
But it happens. It happens a lot, more than people think. And you just laugh about it. Like, it is what it is. You know, we're human. It's not like we're not meant to be robots and look perfect at all.
Right. Oh, man. You imagine? Wow.
Yeah. I had a nightmare once that I was dancing and I forgot.
That's not a nightmare.
That happened to me in real life.
But what I've learned too is that a lot of times when we're afraid of things, we're more afraid of the thought of it than when it actually happens. Because when it happens, you're like, oh, that just happened. But it's not that bad.
Right.
Versus when you're sweating in bed, you know, you're freaking out because you don't want it to happen. But it's usually not as bad.
It's all in the head.
How do you handle stress? Because I know it's a lot of stress. You travel every day. You're in a different city. You're doing all these crazy things that no human being can do. Are you sure you're not a robot?
I'm not. Because I'm 100% human. I make mistakes on the daily. I'm 100% human.
Because I know, doing tours and all that takes a toll on you. You have to get on a plane. You have to go to the next city. There's jet lag. There's a bunch of stuff. How do you handle stress?
I used to be the stress queen growing up. Stress about everything. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to work on it. And I've come a long way. Like, for the people that know me, like, I used to stress about everything. And honestly, there's a couple of things that I do. One, I know this might sound really weird. I don't think I've ever said this, like,
awesome,
to the public.
Breaking news.
Breaking news with Jenny Valdes.
Go ahead.
Showering. It's like my form of meditation. It's really weird. Like, if I'm very stressed out, it like, when I feel the water comes down me, it's like all the negativity is being washed away.
So you picture it just going away.
That's the mental state I put myself in. And then I literally just, I'm inhaling all the goodness for what's to come. Like, a lot of, no matter your craft, no matter what you do, everything is a mental mindset. Mm-hmm. So you have to get your mind right to be able to go through and do your live podcast and do this and do that, So definitely showering is my form of meditation. And sometimes I shower like 3-4 times a day. And I'm like, why am I showering so much? It's really weird.
I heard that's bad for you.
Is it?
I heard it's bad for your skin.
Not if you use cold water, really. Like,
no, I heard that it's bad, period. Like, okay, so
I gotta search
because
this then.
supposedly soap has chemical. I don't know if you use like natural soap.
He's an MVP, so he knows what.
I use.
Oh my God, we're done with that one. You shouldn't be saying that. No, but I heard that like soap and chemicals and all that. If you constantly have that on you throughout the day, it's bad.
Oh well, thank you for telling me.
Yeah, because apparently.
I mean, she's only been doing it for 5 years. Like, it's not that.
No, I just started this. This is a new thing I just discovered. To be honest.
Yeah, because supposedly your body has like natural oils. You sweat.
Right.
So if you're constantly washing it away, it's bad.
How funny.
I heard that there was this actress, I don't know, some famous lady, that she said that because of that she read something about like showering is bad for you. She goes 2 and 3 days without showering.
That's pretty gross.
Okay.
If you skip a day, it's kind of like, all right. It can get kind of hard sometimes.
Maybe in cold weather, but if it's Miami Heat, olvídate de eso.
No.
Olvídate de eso.
Like, you take a shower, you walk to your car, and you need another shower once you get in the car. You're like, oh, shit.
This Miami Heat is no joke. No joke. But yeah, the showering and spending time with my nieces and nephews. Like, they are my world. You don't understand.
How do you disconnect?
How do I disconnect from what?
From your job. Like, okay, so it's very difficult for business people, entrepreneurs, and people that go so hard in their lives to disconnect, like to separate that personal time from your business time. Like, for example, I go to sleep and I'm thinking about tomorrow I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to get more clients, I got to, you're always like thinking. How do you disconnect?
So I actually read something. And it changed my perspective because I feel like I'm a hustler. Like, us Cubans are hustlers. And I'm always trying to find what's next. What am I going to do? Living in the future. I'm always living in the future. Like, where am I going to get to? And I read something that goes, just because you're constantly moving doesn't mean you're moving forward.
Right.
Like, you can be moving in circles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, there was a point in my life where I felt that. I was constantly going, but I felt like I was going in circles for me personally.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I think I can have a moment of stillness. And that's when I started learning, like, I need time for myself. Like, now when I'm in town, I have this new thing where I walk 30 minutes around my house every day to just breathe and have a moment for myself, to be in my own thoughts, to think myself and disconnect from everything else that's going around. It's my me time. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't have me time, and that's the problem. And you can constantly think about your business, but if you're so caught up on that, if you don't take away, you're not going to be able to bring in new ideas.
Right.
And that's what sometimes you need a little vacation. You need a little this. You can't be so consumed by, I need to get this, because when are the ideas really going to flow?
Yeah. I remember my 21st birthday, I spent it in the hospital because I was taking 7 classes, working, and I was trying to build a business. And I got a bunch of hives from stress. And, I was there. They were giving me medication, and then hives will go away for like 2 minutes, and then they will come back up. Because usually if you're allergic to something and they give you the medication, then it goes away, and that's it.
Right.
But my thing kept on coming back up. So I spent my 21st birthday in the hospital. And that's when I learned that, hey, I got to put a little break on this thing and, you know, enjoy life a little bit, exercise and walk. I haven't exercised yet, but we'll get to that point. But, you know, it was a process to like, hey, change your mindset. I know you got to work hard, but there's also family time. There's also friendships, and there's, you know.
And that's so important. Stress is the number one disease, to be honest with you, of everything. And people don't realize, like, I don't like to talk about this stuff, but it's the reality of the situation. I'm a realist. We're all going to be gone at some point.
Yes.
You know? So if you're a billionaire or if you're living on the streets, regardless, we all enter and we leave. So nothing you do is going to make you last longer. It is what it is. Yeah. So why am I going to live my life worrying about pleasing others, building $1 billion company, or like I have to do what makes me happy, you know? And that's what it's about. What is going to make you happy? And going through it, like, you know, you miss a business meeting. I'm not saying that's really important, obviously, but I'm saying, like, you miss one business meeting because, you know, you have to go on a trip with your family. You need that for yourself.
Of course.
For you to function, and for you to be happy.
You come back and you're more productive. So
yes, listen, I've met billionaires. Billionaires. If you're a billionaire, you better be the happiest person in the world.
Right.
No.
Not necessarily.
No. I asked a billionaire, I said, are you happy? And his response to me was, I'm working on it. And that put so much perspective into me.
Right.
Because everybody has this idea that money equals happiness.
Yeah.
No, it does not. And you have to find yourself happiness, because if not, what are you living for? And when we're gone, I personally believe that love is what still lives on.
Right.
You know? And it's that. So, you know, I'm a business owner and have all this stuff, but I'm not there for my family.
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? Like, no, like, I love you. Like, I'm here for you. Like, understand that, know that. And always remember that. I may not be able to be here for you every day, but we do family things that are going to get us. Right. You know, so now when you create your little family, little 411 for you.
That's coming up. Here's the thing about money that I kind of changed my mind a little bit. When I was younger, the goal was to make a lot of money, to be a millionaire, you know, make $100 million. That was happiness. Then, you know, I started building the business, started making a little bit of money, and my love for money went away completely. Just because it's like, okay, I got money. Now what do I do with it? And people are like waking up to chase money every single day, and they're not thinking about the freedom that you're supposed to chase. That's what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is saying, hey, it's Sunday night. Yes, tomorrow's Monday. Can't wait to go back to work. While everybody else is like, oh my God, Monday, I got to do this again. When is it going to stop? I've been doing this for 20 years. What's the point? If you make $60,000 and that's enough for you to be happy, then, you know, that's it. Stay there, be with your family, do whatever you want to do. If your goal is to make $100 million but still be happy, because I'm the type of person that I know I can make $100 million and still be happy. You know, just because money's not the passion.
Of course.
It's the happiness. For example, I remember for my 2016, I think it was, with my mom, it was like the first year that the business had some money, that I was like, okay, you know, like I'm making some money now, because, you know, when you start a business, you got to put in all the work and reinvest everything. And I was like, Mom, Dad, my brother, my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now, just because I sounded like my girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I know. Let's go on a trip. And we all went together. And I was like, you know what? Let's go. I pay for everybody. It's like, that was what made me happy. Not that I had, you know, I don't know, $5,000 in the bank. It's like, whatever. Like, you know, it's just a different mindset that people have to stop chasing money, especially young people. I went to speak out of school. And you know what? All the kids were asking, like the questions, how much money do you make? Are you a millionaire? I'm like, guys, I'm talking to you about like doing all this stuff and like building the life that you want and all this stuff. And they're like, but money though, like how much do you make? I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
They think money's everything.
Also, you forgot to mention what they all want to do. The majority of them.
What?
All of them want to be YouTubers.
Of course.
Or professional gamers.
Or professional gamers.
Fortnite, Fortnite gamers.
Parents, be very careful. Playing video games is good, you know, maybe an hour every 3 years. But, you know, playing video games a lot is not necessarily good for your kid. And these kids think, like, yes, you can make money off of being a gamer. Like, we saw this YouTuber the other day that he made $500,000 a month playing video games. But not everybody can do that.
That's like the LeBron James of video games.
Yeah, but
it's for you to get there. It's like 1 out of 10 million. It's mathematically.
This is my situation.
Crazy.
Social media has its pros, has its cons. Gaming, pros, cons. Everything has its pros and its cons. But my thing is, there are some kids who are really gifted with that.
Yeah.
And excel. If you're one of those people that are gifted with that, go for it and make your life off of that. But my thing that I get all the time, which is hand in hand with what you're saying, I want to be Instagram famous.
What does that mean?
That's exactly what I asked.
Insta famous. You want to be famous instantly? Is that what you're saying?
That's what it is. But for what? Like, ¿para qué?
Right.
For what? What are you trying to be? But that's because that's the generation they live in.
Right.
And it's like, I asked a girl, I posted an Instagram video, and one of my friends was like, hey, you should ask them why. And I was like, wow, to me that was genius when he told me. So the next time I asked another group of kids, I asked a girl why, and she literally went like this. I don't know. And I said, you just want to be Instagram famous because everybody's doing it? She's like, maybe. And I told her, I go, there's a difference between saying I want to be Instagram famous because I want my voice to be heard.
Right.
You know, I want to make a difference. I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I have a purpose. Versus I just want to be Instagram famous because I'm like this.
Right. And
I'm picking up all these guys, and I think I'm hot shit. Like,
and once you turn 50, 60, it's like, what are you going to do now?
Eso mismo. And all of it's an illusion.
Right.
Like, it doesn't really exist.
It's an illusion, but at the same time, I think out of any time in the history, now is the easiest, I think, to be famous because of social media.
Of course, but that's what I'm saying. It has its pros and its cons. But my situation is like when people use it in a negative light. You know, like I have a 7-year-old niece. She's watching everything I do.
Right.
You know, I had a guy tell me the other day, oh, Jenny, you're not a party girl, huh? I said, party girl? What do you mean by that? He's like, yeah, because you don't post anything going out. And I said, so because I don't post things of me going to the bathroom, does that mean I don't go to the bathroom? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's kind of that. Like, so what? Now you have to post everything that you do?
And it's Miami. Miami's the place for fake it till you make it type of thing.
It is.
Like, there was a Vice a video that I saw the other day. It's about Miami and the luxury lifestyle. That there was this guy, pretty much they rent cars, right? And this guy is pretending to be a millionaire. And Vice, okay? They come and they they bring a crew, they record the guy, and they're like, yeah, you know, because I make so much money. This is my car. That's my car. I do this, I do that. And then, like, the reporter was asking them, like, is it really your car? He's like, no. And then they start getting into the depth, and it's like, they start going in there, and then he's like, yeah, I'm trying to be somebody. But the guy, you look at his Instagram, he's a rapper. You look at his Instagram and you're like, oh man, I want to be like him. He has cars, girls. He goes to the club. He hangs out with all the superstars and all this stuff. And it's like, are you really who you say you are? Because it's very easy for you to rent a car and just like take 30 pictures on it.
Yeah.
And then change your clothes and take it again. And you know, it's like
there was a really popular video where a guy went to New York. I think we watched it together.
Oh yeah.
This guy was walking in New York and he hired a bunch of photographers and just follow me, take pictures. And
what's the guy's name?
I don't know. It's like a weird. It's like one of those like old school YouTube videos when YouTube was like still kind of like growing, and it was uploaded. It was like weird, and everybody thought he was famous because you know all these photographers taking pictures of him, and then they had fake reporters ask questions like, "Hey, what do you think about his next movie? He's gonna be in Spider-Man." I think he's great. I think he's gonna. It's like,
do you see
he's not actually famous, dude. What's wrong with you?
They're asking him like, you saw his last movie? He's like, yeah, he was really good. The guy's not famous.
He's a nobody.
We love that, and I think that's something like people like you, for example. You're in the spotlight, and young girls look up to you. You know, so you have to be careful with what you post, and that's something you go to schools and you tell them this stuff. Like, hey,
of course, I tell them all the time. There's people who have lost scholarships because of things they've posted.
Oh yeah,
like it's not worth it. And you're young, and when people do things without those intentions,
right?
You know, and I get it. But you have to be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my mom was strong on that with me when I was younger, and I didn't understand it. I'm like, Mom, everybody in my school does it. She's like, but you don't need to be doing it.
Of course.
I'm like, okay. And now I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you, because there's things that didn't need to be posted. You know what I mean? And I think even in a personal life like that, if everybody knows something about you, like, what's mysterious about you? What's different? What do I want? Like, there's times now, I'm currently single, And I'm trying, like, when you meet people and you give them...
You shouldn't have said that.
That comment section is going to be on fire now.
You shouldn't have said that.
Follow me at Jenny Valdes and holler. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you know, and there's people now, I'm like, I don't even want to give you my IG because you're going to see the...
Don't worry, we're gonna post it in the video.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, people see that and then they see all this stuff versus getting to actually get to know you. And I'm like, damn, this generation that we're living in is really interesting.
How will you deal with that? Like, how are your kids going to be? It's very difficult because technology is all around them.
It's very interesting because I see it through my nieces and nephews, you know, and they're crying and here's a tablet.
Right. It's the easiest thing to do.
And it is. And it's a tough situation to be in because it's like, that's what keeps them quiet, but because that's how they were trained to be quiet. You know, it really hit me though. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and they had tablets for the kids there. And I said, wait a second.
I have never seen that before.
We're here eating dinner. We're here eating dinner, trying to spend family time, and you want to be on your tablet.
They do
but
that
so used to being on the tablet that
it's normal.
They can't let
it go. Now they're gonna say, "Mom, Dad, can we go there again?"
Exactly. Eso mismo. So it's you have to honestly find that balance because you do have to teach them at the end of the day how to use it because if not, they're gonna be outdated.
Right.
But then it's like a kind of a restriction, you know, only use it an hour, 2 hours a day, or vice versa, you know. But it honestly is taking over, and it's making every kid want instant. I want instant gratification, instant, and the best things come with time.
Yeah.
What comes quick leaves quicker.
That's something we were talking about the other day because I'm not a big fan of my birthday.
Why?
Because I feel like I have less time to do what I wanted to do. That's always been my mentality. It's like, oh man, I'm 21. Oh my God.
You sound like an old man.
I know. Everybody's like, oh
like
my God. Like, really like.
Un
viejito.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm 25 now. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I'm getting older and older. Me salió una cana. And I'm like, oh my God.
Man, I got about 3 of those. I'll give you one of mine if you want.
When I saw that cana, I was like, oh my God, like, I need to do this quickly.
But there's no timeline.
And then we talk about this, and it's like 25, 24, 35.
That's messed up. Somebody told me I was 35 the other
26. Day. And you look at everybody else, because the world that we live in, we think that we have to become rich and famous at 21, you know? It's like, you look at everybody else, and they're doing it at 30, 35, 40, 50. That's when they're making all the money. That's when they're actually living the life that they want to live. But younger people are like, I want it now. Like, I just graduated college. Remember that guy that we interviewed yesterday? I was hiring somebody, and kids are so entitled. We did an interview for, I don't want to even talk about it, but we did an interview for a position that we're hiring. And I was telling him about, like, hey, like, this is how a startup works, you know? Like, it's not your regular corporate job. Like, this is not for everybody. I told him, like, and I just saw something that, like, really bothered me. Is that entitlement mentality that's like, oh, yeah, I just graduated college. I have no experience. I don't know how to do anything. But $25 an hour. It's like, really, dude? Like, come on. You know, I did an internship for a whole year. And I was 15, 16 years old. And all I cared about was learning. And then that's what started my career. But kids nowadays at 17, they graduated high school, and they're like, yeah, because I need to make $60,000, you know. It's like, what, you have a wife and kids? Like, well, what's going on? And that's what's, this generation, like the younger generation that's coming out next, is, I think, is getting more and more entitled, even though we're millennials and we understand how things are. But I think being Hispanic and being from Miami gives you a different perspective, that it's like, hey, my parents came here because they didn't have anything. And we're trying to make it here. We're trying to hustle here. But these kids are born here. I know you were born here, but I'm saying, like, the kids are born here that all they see is Miami and, like, everything is there. Or food is always in the table. They're like, oh, yeah, because we deserve food and we deserve this and we deserve that.
You feel entitled. And I get that. But I feel like that's where we come in. And as young hustlers, it's our job to inform them and spark that within them and realize, like, this whole generation that's going on, you don't have to follow it. Mm-hmm. You can go on your own path. Right. You know, but it takes people like what you're doing now, speaking about it and making a difference of it, because they think that that's normal. For me, I got blessed. I grew up, my dad left Cuba, came here and built an empire for us. Right. You know, and I thought, like I said, I thought everybody lived like me. Right. My teammate, I went over her house and I was like, whoa, oh, snap. Like, you don't live like me. Mm-hmm. Another teammate, I'll never forget, we're at my house, and her name was Precious. I'll never forget this day. She goes, Jenny, do you know what it's like to come home and not have food on the table?
Yeah.
I said, Precious, no. Like, what do you mean? Like, you come home and mommy and daddy always have food for you.
Right.
Jenny, no. She lives with her grandparents. She doesn't even have a mom and dad. And I was just like, that was a big pivotal moment for me because it's like, whoa, that really puts things into perspective. But like you said, unless you go outside of your bubble, you don't know. I just came back from Cuba.
Right.
2 weeks ago. I went for the first time, so excited because I found a part of myself that I never understood.
Right.
Like, to see what these Cubans really go through.
Hustle.
Like, wow, no crime rate, no nothing, and everybody in there hustling to help each other out. Like, bro, that changed me so much. I came back and I was just like, wow, I'm so grateful and I have this opportunity and I'm going to help make a change in the slightest way that I can.
Yeah, and you won't see it. I know you can watch documentaries and watch everything, but you don't see it until you go there.
At all.
That's like, you know, when you start traveling to Latin America and you start seeing how people live. I think the best entrepreneurs are the ones who are in that position. People figure it out, man. Like, you see people selling stuff on the streets and they're like, I need to make money. I need to feed my kids. There's no social security. There's no food stamps. There's none of that. No. You just have to work. If you don't work, you don't eat.
At all. And listen, in Cuba, like, the tourists get treated better than the actual people there. And that, to me, was what was mind-blowing because I've been to DR, I've been to Puerto Rico, I've been to Jamaica, all these places. And, like, to see that was very interesting to me. And, you know, they have, you know, the thing over there is, like, the fancy cars, like, which are not really fancy, but over there, it's considered fancy, you know? And we went on a tourist taxi drive, you know? Charged us $10, all this, well, kooks. It's called kooks over there. They have different currencies. And they charged us $10, whatever, going through, you know, touristy. And then we went with a lady whose house we were staying in. She took us, and we went and took a Cuban taxi, you know? And I was stunned when I got into that taxi. It fits 9 people. Like, they changed the car so it's like 4 people fit in the back, and they have like benches, and they have a 3-seater, and then somebody sits next to the driver. Right. And you literally hop on from the back and the side of the car, and everybody's just like, here, I think there's this pesos. So un peso, $1 here, everybody, where are you going? And they're all grinding to help each other. Yeah. And that to me was like, you guys are grinding in this together. Like, you're sticking through it versus being like, give me this, give me this, give me this, you owe me this. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a unity.
We went to Jamaica, so and we saw how kids, like, we're talking about like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, are taking the bus, walking to be able to go to school by themselves. There's no parents there like, here's the bus, it's gonna pick you up here at 7:30. It's like none of that. When I got here, I remember, even though my parents always took me to school back in DR, but when I got here, that it's like, yeah, your bus stop is right there in the corner. I was like, what? And the bus has AC? Oh my God, this is America, man. Like you can do anything here, you know?
You see, but you had that, not nothing, but you had that situation.
I think that was the best thing that happened to me.
What it's good, but we who grew up here, we just have this, so we don't see this. And that's my thing, that's what I've been with traveling. I'm like, those things that you've experienced in different cultures. I went to Jamaica, we shot Options. It was Pitt and Stephen Marley. We shot Options music video, my first music video officially as a Pitbull dancer. And I rode a scooter around Kingston with Pitt. And I look over, and there's this little boy, must have been, I want to say, 7 years old, in his whitey-tighties, playing in the street, having a grand old time. Yeah. And my eyes start getting watery. And Pitt's like, what's wrong with you? You're a pure girl. And I start laughing, and I'm like, yeah, but let's not talk about that. But still, like, I go, this moment right now, like, I go, I've never... You see it in videos, but experiencing, I go, I'm here shooting a music video in Jamaica with Pitbull. Right. And look at this kid on the street playing, having a grand old time. Like, is this life? Is this really happening? Them playing soccer with bids and stuff, like with stuff from the street. And again, you see it in videos, but there's something about seeing it in person, and that goes back to the happiness, finding your happiness. Yeah. And if those kids have nothing and can have that amount of happiness,
you tell a kid here, it's like, hey, you can't play Xbox tonight. They'll be like,
oh yeah.
But why? I hate you, Mom. It's like, really? Like, come on. Like.
But it goes back, you know, to good and evil, the light and the darkness. You kind of have to have both to figure it out. So we're blessed to be given so much great things, but because we don't have the bad, we don't know how to appreciate the good yet.
Right. You know what I'm going to do with my kids? I'm going to send them to DR.
I mean, man.
Like, I'll find you 2 parents over there. Just go. You're gonna learn.
Listen, be careful. They might not come back. They might like it more than here. Let me tell you.
No,
all that fun they'll be having.
I'll make sure they have a hard time.
I love DR.
They're gonna learn. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. When you were in high school, what were your plans at that time? Like, okay, like, what am I gonna do in the future? Because you probably didn't have it figured out yet.
No.
What were you thinking at that time?
I wanted to be a heat dancer.
Okay.
And I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to FIU. I wanted to get my degree. Now this is when it really happened. My freshman year of college, I took an SLS class, which is like an introduction to first experience class. Right. And they tell me, well, they tell us, you guys have a project and you have to write out your road to success. And I'm like, my road to success? That's why I'm in college for, to figure it out. Why do I gotta have this figured out? I'm 18 years old. Like, I don't know what I want to do when I get older. Right. Why do I have to have this figured out? Listen, I'm a huge believer in manifestation. And this put things into perspective. I forgot I did this project. I literally in the moment was like, let me just put something down to get an A. Listen, guys, I was scrolling through my pictures the other day and I found a picture of the project. I did this project in 2013 and I found this picture in 2017. I showed Pitt and everything. Everything I wrote down on that vision board, on my road to success, has come to life. And I have the picture, I'll show it to you guys. Incredible. Like, I was dancing for the heat, going to school, I was like, I wanted to graduate. I had a picture of Pitt and I. Because when I danced for him in Premios the first time, right. I wanted to go on tour. Literally a month after I graduated, I went on my first official tour with him and Enrique Iglesias. Right. And then I wanted to create a business plan, start my own business plan, and literally everything happened. And I wrote that in 2013, not knowing, I guess I knew, right. You know what I mean? But when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, you know, but somehow you already know, but people don't take the time to ask, to tell you, like they don't teach you to ask yourself, right. What makes you happy? What do you want to be when you're older? What's your vision? Yeah. That's when it hit me. I was working out. I work out at a gym called Extreme Fitness. Mm-hmm. And my trainer, Gary, was like, so Jenny, what's your vision? I'm like, oh, you know, so I see myself. He's like, no, your vision. You're telling me goals. What's your vision? I go, isn't that the same thing?
It's too abstract.
I was like,
abstract.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that the same thing? And he's like, no, Jenny. Goal something like you set a goal, you reach it. You set a goal, you reach it. Because I grew up doing goal setting. That was my main thing. He goes, but what's a vision? Vision is something that's so far-fetched you can't reach it. He's like, listen. He goes, you're going to leave this gym today and don't come back until you tell me what your vision is. I said, Gary, but I want to come tomorrow. Like, that gives me no time. He's like, well, you got to figure it out. Right. And he literally lit a fire up my derriere. And I went and I thought, that's the ballet in me. And I went home and I thought, and like, he sparked it. And that's when Limitless Legends, it had always been in me, but nothing had really like sparked me to let it out. Right. And he made me really just get into my own head and ask myself questions about me when I was living life for so many other people, making sure everybody's taken care of, make sure everybody's good. And I'm like, damn, I didn't take the time to think about me. What do I want? What do I want to do? And then he unleashed another side of me.
And that's a problem, that we're sending all these people out into the world from high schools and college, and they have no idea what they want to do. It's like, just go out there and figure it out. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. But then it's like you end up at a crappy job and you're like, oh, this is it. I'm happy here.
And there's this misconception that by 30, you have to have everything figured out. Right. No, like the time frame doesn't exist, but you feel that way because, again, social media, we're comparing ourselves to everybody. Oh, they're 14 years old and they're the #1 rapper in the world. What do you mean? Like, I need to be that. No, like, you know what I mean? There's a time and place for everything, and it's okay to change what you want to be. Right. Right now, I'm a dancer. Who's to say in 3 years from now I won't be this? You know, like,
I was a filmmaker. I was a filmmaker 3 years ago.
There you go.
We were filmmakers 3 years ago.
And look at the passion, you guys. And I'm sorry, I know you guys just opened this, but like the vibe here is already amazing, and I can't wait to see what this is going to turn into. I'm so serious.
We're really excited about it too.
And I'm excited for you guys because like
thank you.
I can definitely feel where this is.
I think it's the Salt Lab.
It's definitely the Salt Lab.
It has to be the Salt Lab.
Yeah, because I got nothing. You got nothing.
I don't have anything.
What's this? What?
What?
What's the? You said the what? The Salt Lab?
Yeah, the Salt Lab.
This? That's what it's called? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. You can't taste it. It's in the air.
Well, supposedly.
I can't taste it, but I guess I can feel it.
I'm going to go ahead and throw one of those I'm not a scientist facts, but supposedly.
I love this. I love these. I'm not a scientist facts.
He Googled this yesterday.
I love this.
I remember I bought it at Salt Lab a couple weeks ago, so I bought it before. I told you to buy that.
Okay.
Supposedly the salt is being released, and it actually helps like with like sinus or whatever. Like it helps with your breathing or something.
Yes, I know what you mean. I just started getting into like crystals. One of my friends is teaching me about crystals and like all the different meanings that they have. And I recently went and I ended up leaving with this tree that's so beautiful. And to somebody sees it as just a tree, but to me there's so much meaning. Like
you gotta show us a picture of this tree.
And yeah,
because I'm thinking of like a Christmas tree, but that's probably not what it is.
It's like a tree of crystals. It's a tree of crystals. And honestly, I know that this is like very like a spiritual. I've been on a spiritual journey, and me and this tree were conversing like mentally in a whole bunch of aspects, and it brought so much happiness to me. And my friend left with a lamp as well. So when I see this now, I'm like, oh my God, how interesting. That's why when I came in, the first thing I said is like, wow, like I like it because that's what I've been on, and it's just like, I don't know, the law of attraction is real. But those things probably.
You graduated college?
Yes, I graduated FIU in 2017.
How was that? Because you were in the middle of a tour, you were doing all this work, music videos, traveling. I know there's a lot of people with excuses like, oh, I'll do it next year. I'm too busy now. I'm doing this. How was that?
So the first line you have there, challenge your limits.
Always.
I knew that was the right poster to get.
Good job.
Yes.
It
worked.
My God, so good. But yeah, challenge your limits. And that's what I did. You know, school to me came first. I told you I was a very studious student. And I told myself, I need to graduate. You know, my parents sacrificed a lot to give me the life I live. And I was on scholarship. I had to be a full-time student. I had Florida prepaid. There wasn't an excuse for me not to go to college.
Right.
There wasn't an excuse. I had it there for me. All I had to do was make these classes happen. And luckily, they offered online classes now. So my first 2 years, I did classes in school. And I had like one class outside of school, which was online. And the last 2 years, I went fully online. I went on my first tour with tour with Prince Royce. We opened up for Ariana Grande. Yeah. And let me tell you, I learned a lot. I learned about the struggle for water. I learned about the struggle for finding some Wi-Fi. We'd be on the tour bus, and I'm like, I need to submit this. I remember we had a show, and I minored in communications, and I had to do these videos. And I'm like, it's so loud in here, I can't record the videos. I would literally go in the arena, and I would find a quiet room. And I'm like, Tasha, I would tell our tour manager, Tasha, I'm going to go in this room. Please make sure nobody comes in. She's like, don't worry, Jenny, I got you. And I would record myself, all this stuff. I had a roommate named Lindsay at the time who was amazing. And, you know, it gets hard. You're young. You want to go out. Everybody's going out. We're in cities I've never been to, things I want to explore. And my roommate was just the most supportive person. So we would do like deals with each other. She'd be like, Jenny, when you wake up in the morning, do your first 2 hours, do your math, and then, you know, we'll leave and we'll do this. So like the majority of the time would never leave me. So I never felt like I was missing anything. I was missing out on anything. Right. You know? And then she'd be like, Jenny, come on, how much more problems do you have? I go, okay, Lindsay, I'll do one more problem, and then we go. She's like, okay, Jenny. You know? And I'm so blessed to have had somebody like that because, you know, it could get difficult being by yourself, but I had a very strong support team. And then sometimes I'll be in LA, and I'll be like, okay, the assignment's due at midnight. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, it's 8 o'clock. The assignment's due. Oh, shoot, what do I do? Yeah. And I would call my mom and be like, Mom, so I just sent you the email. I need you to go on. I need you to submit the assignment for me because I wouldn't have Wi-Fi. I'd be on stage doing something. I'd be like, so my mom would submit assignments for me, like all this stuff. So I definitely had a strong support system. That's how I got by it. But it was really challenging. I did a video the other day, and I was like, I called my mom for my whole, so you have to take exams through ProctorU.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Through ProctorU. So somebody's watching you take the exam to make sure you don't cheat.
I never understood the concept of that. I was
so scary. I was trying to find a way to cheat, and I was like trying to figure out.
But it's like they make it real difficult for you.
I'm watching you take a test.
Exactly.
Don't cheat. It's like
exactly.
Yeah, but you can't have anybody in the room. So it's like I think you have to like grab your laptop.
Okay, but listen to this. So I think I was in New York. This time I was touring, I think, with Yandel, and I had a roommate. And she was going to be in the room. Well, you can't have somebody in the room. Right. I'm in a hotel room. I need to take this test. I go to the bathroom. Okay. So I go to the bathroom and I'm sitting down. And I have my laptop on the toilet. Okay. The laptop's on the toilet with this thing down. And the lady's like, oh, you know, show me the room. Da-da-da. So I show her the room. And she was just looking at me mad confused while I'm in a bathroom taking this exam. Listen, I spent the whole day before like studying during sound check, like. I get my results right away. I get an F. This is my first F in college. And this test was worth like 15, 20% of my grade. I had the biggest panic attack. literally called my mom right there. I'm like, I'm dropping. The dramatic Latina side of me, I have a dramatic Latina side. She came out to play. And she's like, I'm like, oh my God, mama, that's it. I'm dropping out of school. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm trying, because I felt like I was really trying my hardest I could. Like, there was not more that I could give to school than I was already giving.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom's like, Jennifer, you're being so dramatic. It's just 1F. Like, you're going to be fine. I go, Mom, I don't even know if I could pass this class with a C. It's worth 20% of my grade. This is the first test. If I take another test and I fail it, that's it. I fail the class. Do I drop out now? What do I do? I can't. And if I can't fail a class because I'm like really hard on myself. She's like, Jennifer, relax. Like, coached me through it, because that was when I hit rock bottom. I was ready to drop out of school. I was like, this isn't for me. And she just was the angel that constantly kept feeding me good things. And I stuck through it. And I ended up, I think, getting a B or an A in the class, ironically.
So after taking a test in the bathroom, you still went and managed to get your college degree. Yeah, that's when it's like, there's no excuses. Like, people are always coming up with an excuse or reason
to If you want it bad enough, you will make it happen.
Especially now, you can do online classes. Back in the day, if you were in the class, that's it. I'm sorry, you're not here. You can't pass.
Exactly.
Now it's
I feel like we should make that into a saying. Like, take one for the team. Everybody's got to take a test in the bathroom every now and then.
Yes! Now he's going to his own sayings. I like it. Everybody has to take a test in the bathroom every now and then.
Now, let's talk about college.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I think it's worth it.
Why?
I think it's worth it if you don't have to go bankrupt going to college. I do feel that it's very expensive, Luckily for me, I had scholarship and I had Florida P paid, so I got paid to go to school,
right?
But I do think it's ridiculous how you're taking a course and then I need an access code online, but then I don't even use the access code, but it's $100. Wait, so I'm paying for the classes, I'm paying for this, and I have to pay for these access codes and the textbooks and everything. It's all a business at the end of the day. So I do feel that it's a business. A big part of it is business, and I get it and I respect it. But honestly, you learn about yourself in college. You can tell an educated person from a non-educated person when you speak to them. Mm-hmm. So like I said, it's not that the textbook stuff they teach you is important, but it's the fundamental things that they teach you. The networking that you make with your friends. There's just so many other lessons that it teaches you that it's not necessarily the textbook material. Right. And I have a friend that plays for the MLB, and we were talking about it, and he's like, oh, no, college isn't nothing. I go, yeah, because you're physically gifted. Right. You have these physical abilities that have allowed you to play in the MLB and make great money. And commend you for that. You specifically didn't need college. But honestly, that's not the case for everybody. So you can't go a group of kids and tell them they don't need it. If you feel college isn't for everybody, and that's okay. I have friends that have been working in Costco since they were 18, 40-year-olds now, making great money, have benefits, support their family, and they're happy. Right. UPS, I've been working in UPS since I'm 18. So that's another avenue to take. I just don't believe in, I'm going to sit at home, I ain't going to do anything, and everything's just going to fall in my lap. That's what I don't believe in. Yeah. But if you have the chance to go to college and you have the opportunity to do it, you take it. And then along with college, you don't put 100%, you put 100% of yourself into that, but you put 100% of yourself as well into the University of Life, which is what I preach about too. When I got to Pitt's team, he said, one of the first things he said, you'll learn things here that Harvard won't even teach you. And I'm like, yeah, right. Harvard. What are you going to teach me that Harvard can't teach me? What? If I tell you the amount of growth I've had in this past 2.5 years just being under his wing, I could not pay any university to teach me what that man has taught me. Right. And the experiences I've learned from traveling and being on tour and, being around a whole bunch of different people. That's just as important as college. Yeah, man. We talked about it all the time. Because me and Alex, the reason why I decided to start a podcast was because we spent a lot of time just talking about all this stuff, and we're like, why don't we just record it and just put it out there?
Yeah. We go to Casa Cool around the corner. Yes. And we just talk crap. That's all we do for lunchtime. And it's really funny that you say that, because I had one of my really good friends now, Natalie. I call her all the time. Yesterday, she called me for something, and we stayed on the phone for 1 hour and 50 minutes. And we're like, yo, it's been 1 hour and 50 minutes. How? I'm like, do people talk about life as much as we talk about life? And I'm glad to know that people do. Right. Oh, yeah. People don't talk about, I feel like it's not talked about enough. Like you said, it's work, make money, but you need some therapeutic mindset. Yeah. You need to know how
how to think, how to grow, how to live for yourself, how to preach. Like my thing right now is like learning to love yourself. I feel like that's an important concept that many people don't teach.
Oh, yeah.
So many people don't have confidence, and then they go from relationship to relationship and put their insecurities on other people.
Yep.
You know, you gotta love yourself first.
That's a strong one right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't value themselves, and they just they get anywhere, and they're like, hey, I guess this is the guy for me, and I'll stay there forever. You know, I guess this is the girl for me.
Of course, and so many people I see, you know, I really observe. I'm a big observer, and I see so many people who, you know, are married and unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, why? And then I have to figure this out, and I'm like, Papo, it's okay. Like, you know, you gotta make decisions for you sometimes. You can't live in the light of others.
Oh, of course.
You can't.
Let's talk a little bit about your company.
Yes.
How was that moment that you said, you know what, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to do this. Yeah. When was that?
When I graduated college. I said, oh my God, I graduated. What am I doing with this degree? What am I doing with my life? Okay, I dance. Cool. But dance has always been my side thing. Like, school came first. So what's going to be now? Like, I'm not going to be 40 years old still dancing. So what am I going to do? And I had a lot of life-changing moments. And I'm just like, I asked Pitt and I said, I want to make investments. You know, I'm making money, so I want to make investments. What should I invest in? And he looks at me, he goes, invest in yourself. And I've heard that before, but there was something about him telling me that just hit me.
Right.
And I'm like, man, you're right. I'm going to just do this. Like, I'm going to go for it blindly. I'm going to go and see where it takes me, and it's going to grow with me. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but it's what I wanted to do. And let me tell you, it's one of the best things I have done. I found a new passion about myself that I'm learning about myself through this process, and I'm able to learn with other individuals as well. You know, a lot of the times it's like, I'm $1 billion business, here I am. No, but it's a grind, you know? This is an overnight thing. I don't want to be an instant business that grows overnight. I can have a whole bunch of people rocking my thing, and it's the cool thing. I don't want to be cool. I want to be a movement. I want to be a lifestyle. So when you see the logo, when you see the brand, everybody's like, man, I fudge with that. Like, I'm on that same level. Like, let's ride. Like, we're gonna be positive. We're gonna grind. We're gonna work hard. Like, we're on the same level, and build a community of people that becomes the new cool.
Right.
It's not cool to be like, yeah, man, what's up? Like, I'm out here with my boys. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not cool. My ride or dies, and they ain't even your ride or dies because they're. I don't even want to go there. But anywho, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that you just really have to. You know, going back to believing in yourself and not being scared to do it. You weren't scared to build this podcast. Sometimes and I'm only your second person, and look how great this is turning out, you know? And you just got to go for it regardless of what people tell you, because people are going to try to bring you down. I had many people who didn't, support me, but that had many that did. Of course. And that's what you have to focus on.
Yeah.
You can't, all those other things are just distractions, and a lot of time, people see you succeeding. They don't want to see you succeed, so what are they going to do? They're going to suck it out of you so you don't get there.
Talking crap and...
You know? And all you got to do is wish well upon those people, and you keep moving. You stay in your lane. Yeah.
Teach me something I don't know.
About me? Like a fun fact?
It could be about anything. Something weird that it's like only you... Like, for example, this guy, you ask him that and he'll give you 30 things that nobody knows. Like the whole showering too much and...
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question. Okay, a fun fact about me... that just went public like 2 days ago. I have an obsession with stuffed animal hippos. I have like a collection.
Hippos.
Hippos.
Totally normal.
Did you used to collect teeny babies?
No, I collected hippos.
Did you?
Yeah, I did actually.
My mom collected precious moments. I don't know if you guys know what the precious moments dolls were, but she collected a whole bunch of precious moments.
I'm gonna find out right now.
Yeah. Precious moments were like the thing, because she wanted to give it to me, and I was like, I just want my stuffed animals hippos. I got my first one in like the 2nd grade, and ever since then it's a thing. I have a section in my house, a lot. And now my brother just got me one for my birthday, and I literally sleep with it, and I put a Limitless t-shirt on it.
Oh man.
So that's my cuddle buddy all day, every day. I love stuffed animal hippos. It's the weirdest thing. And I just found out in Cincinnati, they have a zoo with Fiona, who's their little hippo princess over there. So at some point in my life, I'm putting it out there that I'm going to Cincinnati and I'm going to the zoo and I'm meeting Fiona. Yeah. And then something I can share with you guys. I'm going to be so upset when I leave here and it hits me. I don't know why I need to think of this.
What's your favorite subject? And
math. That's so boring.
Never mind.
Actually,
that's so boring.
While you think about that, you know, it'd be really cool.
What?
If phone's ringing.
Somebody's calling. It's just
somebody's
business.
calling and just business.
Yeah, it's business.
Don't worry
so
about it.
I think it'd be cool too if somebody brings something and we collect stuff from everybody that we bring in. That'd be pretty.
It's kind of creepy.
Well,
but it's pretty cool though.
I mean, it doesn't have to be something like crazy expensive. Like, don't bring us your abuela's pillow or something. You know?
I actually brought something for you guys, but I'm saving it to the end. So it's funny that you
That'd
say that.
great.
You spoke that into existence real quick.
Damn.
So what do you do when you're not working?
When I'm not working,
Yeah.
Spend a lot of alone time. I've been working on that lately, and spend time with my nieces and nephews. You don't understand. Like, they're like my babies. It's insane. I love them so much, and
I can relate.
you have kids?
I don't have kids, but my nephew is
that
like
he knows of.
That he knows of. Ay, mi madre, prepárate, socio.
This is why you have to be very
You're gonna get
careful
a
with the
phone
friends you
call now.
choose.
You're gonna get a phone call now.
That's
Remember
what
the day?
that phone, the ring.
That's what the phone call was.
The phone was ringing because they're trying to get a hold of me. No, but I have a nephew, and he's special to me for sure. I mean, you know, I think I treat him like he's my own son sometimes. You know, just because me and my brother were really close growing up, and when I was in high school and middle school, my brother looked out for me. So now that he has his son, it's kind of like I'm gonna look out for him too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's how it is. There's something about those little rugrats that just they're everything, and they're my motivation. My niece, my company started because of her. When she was born, I was like, what am I gonna do to make myself a better person for her?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's this little person looking up to me, and you know, she really, that girl's everything to me.
Awesome. And what's your ultimate goal for your company?
My ultimate goal for my company is to create a community of like-minded individuals who just excel in life and live the limitless lifestyle.
Awesome. And thank you so much for agreeing to do the South Miami event.
Oh, anytime. I'm super excited for it.
You know, it's amazing that we can go back to our school and, you know.
And give back. Listen, we're proud Cobras out here. I don't know what you are, but we're proud Cobras out here.
I'm a patriot. You're going to roll your eyes? That's terrible. That's
I just
terrible.
hope you're a patriot in that sense and not a Patriot fan.
No. I mean, because my high school.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I just hope you're a patriot in that sense and you're not
I don't
a
even watch
Patriot fan.
football.
Okay, we're good then.
Yeah, he can.
We're good then. We're good then.
Hey, if you bring it back, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to leave.
Yeah. Wait. So I thought of the fun fact.
Yes.
And not fun fact. Something you guys don't know. Did you know dolphin is really a porpoise? No. Okay. Cool.
Did you?
Now you can. Now you
I
have
didn't know.
something. Now you have something to search.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Do it
By the way, the whole precious moments thing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right?
I'm looking at one right now. It's pretty cool.
I think it was like a really big thing back in the days.
Yeah, it looks like an old school thing.
Yeah, it's an old school thing. So she collected all those
I don't
while
think she's
I
gonna like that
collected
we
my
called
stuffed
her-
animal hippos.
She's not gonna like that we call it an old school thing.
My mom's old school. She knows. She a G though. My mom a G.
I mean, you can't just say it's old. If you say old school, then it's not as bad.
It's like from 10 years ago.
Like I have an old soul.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the thing is, if you
What
just
does
say
that mean?
old,
Yeah, what does that mean?
an old soul.
An old soul.
Yeah, like why would you say that?
Wow, I don't know how to describe how it means. It's something you feel. Like, I have an old soul. I don't know how to describe that. An old soul just...
You like listening to old music?
No, not necessarily
you rather chill at
music.
home than go out?
But yeah, there's just an old vibe
You're a
to
homebody?
my spirit. Yeah, like, I'm a homebody. You know, I don't really live in this new generation. Although I'm physically there, my soul's not physically...
Right.
there, if that makes any sense.
I feel like an old soul because I never sleep and I'm always tired. It's like
That doesn't mean you have
I
an old
feel
soul.
I'm a home soul. I like being home all the time.
what are you gonna be doing the next 6 months?
In the next 6 months,
Yeah.
traveling. I leave to this Friday. I go to DR and then I go to Dubai and then India. So I'm going to 3 different countries. So yeah, we just honestly traveling. We have a Vegas residency now, so we're going into that. And then on a personal terms of business with Limitless Legends, I'm just brainstorming new ideas. I have some things in the work that I don't really want to release, but when it comes out, you guys can catch me on the IG.
Awesome. I wish you the best. Thank you for being here. And that's it. We're done. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna. You wanna give her information now? Should we?
Her information?
Yeah, like her IG, phone, and address.
Well, last time I asked that, it was an awkward question. How do people follow you?
That's a little
People to
staggering.
follow me. Yeah, but I mean, you know.
No, but only on the IG is different. It's different.
So only Instagram, right? Is that the only thing we're allowed to release?
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Demás, olvídate de eso, okay? I don't need nobody at my house.
All right, her phone number is...
Okay, her address is 8472. No.
Oh, my God.
It's actually 8475. Anyways, thank you so much. On, you know? Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Anytime. Thank you for having me. Before I leave, I brought something for you guys.
Yes, please. I love gifts.
That means we have to start collecting for you. See?
Yes, you spoke that. So I have my wristbands.
Awesome.
Nice. You guys.
Awesome.
Okay, it has a slogan on it with a logo, and it says, "Unleash your potential, create your legacy."
Awesome.
And with these wristbands, that's how I always end.
I'm gonna put it on right now.
Yes, put it on. With these wristbands, that's how I always end every speaking engagement that I do, and it's really to just show you guys that you guys have the potential to do whatever it is you want in this lifetime, regardless of what anybody tells you. You know, so with them, now that you're building this podcast, go full force, go at it 100%, don't give up, and your opportunities are limitless.
Awesome. Thank
you.
you.
Live limitless and be the best version of you.